You just found out you were pregnant? Oh! Just kidding. Having a baby is like the greatest thing in the world. We're so happy for you. Congratulations. Man, children are a blessing from the Lord. Man, you just entered in, honestly, the hardest stage of your life, but the greatest stage of your life of getting to be a parent. And so it really is so challenging, but such a blessing at the same time. So we're just so excited for you. And this is a video really, if you're having your first kid, first couple kids, that this is like our what should you do type of video. And if it's for you or if this would be helpful to send to somebody, that's the heart of this video. So,
okay.
So you just found out your baby. Man, when we first found out we were pregnant, we were so excited. And then when the baby came, we were like, we were walking out of the hospital like, you sure you trust us to keep this thing alive? Like, we feel like we were like
escapees from like a prison or something, because we were walking out. And I remember even as we were just like, get to the car fast, because we were so sure someone was just going to like come and be like, no, actually, this test changed. You have to stay. I don't know what we were thinking. I mean, we were adults who are walking out of a hospital. Of course, like, we're fine. But it felt like we were doing something.
But I felt like totally inadequate. I have no idea how to care for this baby right now. We didn't even change the diapers in the hospital. We were like, oh, we're half asleep. We don't know what to do. That we let the nurses do all that.
But it wasn't that we did it on purpose. It actually didn't dawn on me until Peter was maybe 24 hours old or something like that. They kept coming in and he was crying and they would check on him. And then they would say, oh, he needs a diaper change, and they'd change him. And that just kept happening.
Yeah.
And then
I might have started taking advantage of that. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
See, but I didn't, because truly, I remember sitting there on that stretcher, and it all of a sudden like clicked in my brain, oh, Mary, you could change these diapers. Yeah. And, oh, he's crying because he needs you to change these diapers. But it's our first baby. And when I look back at that first year with Pete, there were so many moments that, it just felt like when I look back at it, I'm like, I'm so glad we all survived. And it's just, there's things that you do as a first-time parent that the next time, and I'm thinking the next time, you're probably not going to be as stressed out about. And so, anyway, and you get great advice, but also at the end of the day, ultimately, you're going to figure out your own rhythm. Every baby's different, and every parent is different.
Yeah.
And you parent together differently as a couple than other couples will. And so, anyway, it's a big learning journey. So buckle up.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. So, like, you found you're pregnant. First thing you do, pray. Pray first, pretty much any situation. Thank the Lord for the honor and the privilege that he's entrusted you with the eternal soul, and feel the weight of that as well. But the joy of that, really, that this person will be with you, and be tied to you the rest of both of your lives. Like, you guys are intimately connected just for being their biological parent. It's huge and such a big deal, and such a responsibility to carry if you have so much influence in that little baby's life. So just pray, thank God, and ask him for the help and the wisdom and the strength to do it well. And then I would seek counsel, try to find some parents that have walked the journey. You feel like they're doing a pretty good job. Ask them, talk to them, get some great books. I know Mary would love to tell you what's some books we enjoyed that helped us get ready for parenting.
So actually, it's funny you mentioned just praying. That's so cool. And there's a lot of great prayer resources out there. Power of a Praying Mom. There's Power of a Praying Parent. Or just Power of a Praying Dad. Yeah.
I haven't read that.
Stormy O'Martian wrote a lot of those books. And there's the not Power, I'm off on that one.
Power.
There's Praying the Scriptures for Your Children. Those can be really cool. And it's honestly, before you have the baby, it's kind of a great time to get into that rhythm. And I still remember, and we miscarried Genesis before we got pregnant with Peter. And I remember being so scared that we were going to lose Peter too. And I remember a lot of different times you and I would be in the nursery praying, like on our knees. And I remember crying a lot during that pregnancy of just giving that over to God and just, Lord, I know that you know, and we so want this baby. We so hope that we get to keep them or keep him, but it just being really scary.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, though, what I've learned is praying then helps you pray later, because there's scary things all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. And I think I was very naive when we got pregnant with Genesis and then with Peter, thinking, oh, well, once the baby gets here, then peace, like they made it.
Yeah.
But actually it's like, no, then you have to wrestle with SIDS or with just the small, like with Peter, there was a point where I was pregnant with Ben and he wasn't getting enough nutrition from nursing. So he wasn't putting on weight. And that was a very scary thing because he wasn't failure to thrive, but he almost got there and we didn't even realize it as parents.
Yeah.
I thought he had a sleep regression, and it's our first time with kids. And I think we would have realized it very soon, but I hadn't realized it yet. And we were so thankful for the pediatrician in that moment. But man, I just think it's so helpful right from the gate and right when you're a parent to already start giving them to the Lord, because it's going to be a practice you keep. And then as far as, so those are a couple of prayer books we liked. I have a million mom books that I love. I really enjoy The Whole and Healthy Family. That one was really good. But as far as like just getting started, we really liked the Moms on Call book.
Yeah, that one's just super practical for the schedule. When do you need to feed them? When do they need to go take naps, go to bed? How often do you change diapers? Like, it just covers all. How do you do bath time? So many simple. How do you swaddle?
And even if you don't end up like doing the schedule or doing it exactly that way, it can even just help you think through, okay, they're crying. Is their diaper dirty? Are they hungry? Are they tired? Like, did I do those things? And then you can start to look like, oh, is there like some hair wrapped around a finger or something, But that, for us, when we started, we didn't even think to change his diaper. So that book was so helpful.
We didn't know what we were doing.
Just kind of.
I remember holding Peter and just like slapping his back like super hard. Where now I'm thinking, that poor child, like, because I was trying to burp him. I was like, bam, bam. Like, come on, baby.
Because you were trying to help him, but you're right. I
didn't know what I was doing. You felt so awkward holding the baby. All the things, But
that book was great. We used Baby Wise.
But we liked Moms on Call better. Yeah.
We just felt like it was just more accessible.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways you got to go with one option. Of different techniques and different ways people think.
We definitely made that mistake. I think I tried to do some sort of hybrid thing where I incorporated like all this different stuff, and that just didn't work. I remember we had a baby monitor with Peter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Tanner remembers too, because my vision isn't really that great. And it would be the middle of the night, and I would be trying to see if Peter was breathing, and I couldn't tell. And I would wake Tanner up with this bright light in his face, and I'd be panicked. Like, honey, I can't tell if he's breathing. And you'd have to wake up and stare at it. And you were always so gracious to me. But at a certain point, I think it was Lauren Lockhart who just mentioned to us that you can't watch them all the time. And we
tried to do that. Like, every time he was napping, he had to be like 2 feet away from us so we could just like stare at him like, is he breathing? Is he okay?
We felt like his bassinet couldn't be in the other room. It had to be right by the couch where we could check on him.
Yeah, so first time paranoia, fears with your first baby is totally normal. And, you don't have to stress out so much. It's going to be okay.
Just remember, if they put something in their mouth and you're like, oh no, they just got germs from blah, 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 blah. And, honestly, we were over at somebody's house the other day, and I turned around, and Titus has gotten into their dog food, and he's definitely like eating it. Now, did I keep letting him eat it? No. But I was just like, the reaction I had. There's
probably some good nutrition
versus what I would have done if that had been Peter.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been so panicked. I would have
looking up on the phone, like, what's going to happen?
And you just change. You do, because you kind of get more of a feel for what is like really concerning.
There's a couple things on with
button batteries.
There's a couple ones that are concerning. But other things, make sure you're connected to the Lord. If you don't got a connection to God, you're going to struggle as a parent. So pray, read the Bible, go to church, all those types of things. Love your spouse. You need to have a strong marriage to parent well. And so make sure you're spending time pouring into each other, talking about parenting. Try to be like on the same mindset of what you want to do, especially those first couple of years, what you want to do.
That was actually so helpful.
Yeah,
We did this when we were engaged. It was kind of like things coming ahead that you could talk through while you're engaged before you even get there.
And a great book for that is Nightlight by Dobson. Are great for, there's a marriage nightlight as well as a nightlight for parents, and we did both of those to kind of help us get on the same page on things. And there's some great stories in there. Bringing Up Boys by Dobson and Bringing Up Girls or Raising Girls. Those are both great books. Just kind of get your heart ready for parenting and think through some of that stuff. And then for dads, I always love Point Man by Steve Farrar. Man, great book about leading your family and kind of get your heart ready for that. So those are some books come to mind. And, hopefully you do a baby shower. We think those are great just to celebrate the life of the baby. It doesn't have to be some crazy, expensive, fancy thing, just try to make it cheap. But invite people over, have people pray for you. And a lot of people love, blessing you and bringing gifts for your first baby. And, you can put some of these books on your registry maybe. And you don't need all a million things on your registry. There's some basics, crib, clothes, diaper bag, diapers, wipes, and, car seat. And those are the basics. That's all you really need, So.
Well, and it is sweet to have a couple stories that you're going to read to your child. And
what's some top baby books you love to read?
Oh, so with Peter, I was on this kick that you shouldn't read too many books, that you should read the same ones over and over. So we read You Are My Sunshine. We read 10 Little Fingers. And I sang that little song. And we did the English and Spanish version every day, multiple times a day. And we also read Love You to the Moon and Back. And you and I can both quote that at this point. Very quickly, we were able to quote that. And I would read those all the time. And then
Little Jesus Story Bibles are great.
Yeah. And I think we did like the Beginner's Bible or something. And I read that one in English and Spanish because I was like, for their cognitive development.
Their phonics.
They'll hear more, of the key little pieces as I'm speaking Spanish to them as well. And so I did actually keep that up with all four.
We'll see how it goes. And, none of them are speaking Spanish yet, but maybe.
Well, Peter did say Vamonos muchachos.
Oh, he did.
So actually, all that Bible reading paid off. But, it's a sweet thing. And actually, one of my all-time favorite books is The Read Aloud Family by Sarah McKenzie. That has just benefited us so much.
Oh, yeah.
And she has a ton of great book ideas from 0 to 3 and ideas of things you can be doing with them. And I just found that so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it just builds this really sweet family culture, because I think a lot of times, we're playing outside with our kids, and that's important too, and super fun, and they're just running around and having a great time. Then there's this sweet moment when we pull out books and they just gather around and we're reading together, and it's precious.
Yeah.
And it started when they were just little babies, and Titus is not quite 18 months yet, and he'll even come and sit in my lap. And he doesn't always stay forever. Like, it's not always super long, but he'll sit in my lap and we'll look at the books together. And anyway, if you're not a big reader, I would still get Read Aloud Family, because she just has a lot of practical tips, great suggestions, and it's so beneficial.
Yeah, a couple other things. Just parenting is stressful. It is. And so to really help your marriage and stress level, I would recommend going through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace, really having a great financial plan and trying to get out of debt and have savings and all that. Just, it's so much nice to have not financial stress while you're parenting too. But, the Lord's faithful. He'll provide and help you through whatever you're going through.
That actually, just dovetailing off that super fast, I think that is a huge thing, not just with finances, but in other areas too, that you try to, before the baby even comes, minimize stressors, so that in a time that's a higher stress time, which is a newborn when you're not sleeping as much and things like that, that because you've already reduced other stresses, it gives you that room to kind of have a larger margin of stress. And so I think that's something that's been really beneficial for us, is we try to, whether that's minimizing clutter or kind of streamlining our cleaning process. And we do laundry a certain way that works really well for us, that we don't have to get into right now. But just those kinds of things that could build up. How are you going to handle chores? How are you going to not be overwhelmed? And you're going to be overwhelmed at times, but how can you try to decrease some of those things?
Yeah.
Figuring out commitments, like what are things that I'm doing right now. Like, honestly, with Titus, I realized that he was demanding more time from me. And so I needed to give up YouTube watching for a while to have the time and then still be able to read my Bible, and stuff like that, of just the give and take. So.
Yeah. One other big subject is, do you vaccine your kids, when they're born? And we won't say what we did, just in case YouTube's tracking this right now. But for you, we would actually recommend that you really pray about it. There's a lot of things that say that you probably shouldn't vax because there's a lot of just additives and things in the vaccines. There's one video on a Tucker Carlson podcast that I can link that was really good, talking about big pharma, and are they really just after what's best for your child, or are they after making money? And it's really made me more skeptical about trusting pharmaceuticals and all that.
And there's a quantity thing too, just over the last however many years. Not saying what we did, of course, but I do think that's something that with Peter, I feel like we didn't discuss it as much as maybe I wish we would have.
Yeah.
And then we just were exposed to new ideas and some other things as we had more kids.
And you have a book that you love that tries to help do natural things more than
I do.
medical things.
So Rachel Weaver has written 4 different books, and she wrote Be Your Child's Pediatrician, Be Your Own Doctor, Be Your Own Doctor 2, and Backyard Pharmacy. And I feel like as a parent, a lot of times we just feel like, oh, they have the sniffles, I don't know what to do. Or, oh, they're coughing. And it's so scary when you have a baby and you love them so much and you just want them to be okay. And I felt like that book really equipped me. And I started with Be Your Child's Pediatrician. And whether you're going to do everything in the book or not that much about it, it still helps you think through some, honestly, just common sense things and then some easy things to do. So we laugh now because when our kids are coughing, they'll say things like, Mom, I need an onion poultice. Or like, they got a sting. They're like, I need lavender oil. Yeah. And it works. Yeah. And these things are
some natural, great remedies.
And doctors are wonderful. I'm a PA by training. And so I'm not saying that there's not a place for our conventional medical route, but there's a lot of things with kids that we can manage. And having the tools and basic things to differentiate what needs to go. And
like we were in a car crash and broke bones, stuff that we're so thankful for the ER and the medical staff there. They did amazing, but there's a lot of the wrestle there with that there. Final couple notes, man, just enjoy it. Once they're born, soak up every moment, because the saying that's so true is the days are long, and especially the nights are real long sometimes, but the years are short. And we almost have a 5-year-old, and he's not a little baby anymore; he's a little boy. And just those moments of taking your shirt off and doing some skin to skin time with your newborn are just so precious, and just really treasure that. Don't be on your phone, don't be on your TV. Soak up every minute you have with that.
That actually, I think that's such a great note to end on too, because I think our phones, when we're stressed, are a place to kind of relax and just like, I'm just going to scroll. And
you're missing it. They only look that little baby phase for so short.
Yes. And it feels though like it's going to be forever. I'm not saying you can never look at your phone when you have a baby, but try to just be aware, because it goes so fast. And next thing you know, they're sleeping through the night and you're getting better sleep and things like that. And they're also, going to start sitting up, and then they're crawling, and then they're walking, and then, it's quicker and quicker as it goes.
As you're getting ready for birth too, talk about your birth plan. We recommend natural birth. Has been amazing. The first baby we did hospital, and we ended up getting Mary getting an epidural, but the next 3, how many kids do we have? We're hoping for next 4. We're trying to do natural for our 5th baby. Having natural while they're births, and reaching out to like a birth center, birthing place, have just been awesome for us. Have been really nice.
And there are certain circumstances. I have some great friends that have needed to go a different route and needed C-sections just with different
there's things that come up.
And of course that's not gonna every woman is different, but there is something about thinking about it before. And I think it's just kind of, you get pregnant and sort of plug and play. Like, okay, I'm just going to do this way. And sometimes it's nice as a couple to really discuss, like, what you want.
Yeah.
Um,
And don't just do what everyone else is doing. Do what you think's best for your baby and for your family.
Your wife
And men, really support your wives because, man, birthing's really hard. Being a new mom's really hard. A lot of recovery in the body, a lot of hard things while you're pregnant. So it's really time to dig deep and be a sacrificial husband, whether they're pregnant or whether they just gave birth. Waking up, caring for the baby, and really doing your best to be their partner and support them and make it better. So.
Yeah, and same thing with getting married. I think sometimes we make it all about the wedding and we forget about the marriage. When you're having a baby, we think about the birth, and that's important, but there's a whole lot after that you want to give some time to.
Thanks so much for listening. God bless you. So exciting. Babies!